What's up, guys? So Nancy Pelosi had some very interesting comments about Kamala Harris this past week, which The View ended up covering. So we're gonna dive into this video. Let's get it.
Apparently, last night, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was asked about Vice President Kamala Harris, and some people are surprised, some people are annoyed with her response. We'll play it for you, and you'll have your own feelings. Here's the clip.
Is Vice President Kamala Harris the best running mate for this president?
He thinks so, and that's what matters. And by the way,
you think so?
She's very politically astute. I don't think people give her enough credit.
But do you think she is the best running mate, though?
She's the vice president of the United States. So when people say to me, well, why isn't she doing this or that? I said, because she's the vice president. That's the job description. You don't do that much.
Can I just ask a...
See, so they give an insult and they have to give some sort of cushion for the insult by giving a compliment, which tactic these Democrats typically do because they're just total pushovers, don't have any sort of backbone.
dopey question? Of all of the vice presidents we've had in the last, say, 30 years, did anybody ever think any of them were qualified to be? Because I was sitting there, I was thinking about it, and I thought, well, did anybody think John?
No. Spell potato.
Yeah, I mean,
The only one that was really effective, and not in a good way, in my opinion, is Dick Cheney.
And he was the one
raised
that
a
I
great
thought was
daughter.
dangerous.
His
He
daughter
was
was
the one
good,
that I
but-
thought was
Yeah.
dangerous. They
Yeah,
called Kamala Harris dangerous. Dick Cheney was
Yes.
dangerous, that war
I
hawker.
agree.
But I have to say, Nancy Pelosi is
Yeah, I actually looked into why Dick Cheney is dangerous, guys. He did shoot someone in the face while hunting in Texas, guys. I did find that article while digging. Whittington and others were hunting with Cheney on a sprawling Armstrong ranch in South Texas on February 11, 2006, when Cheney, while aiming for a bird, struck Whittington, who was 78 at the time. The accident wasn't publicly reported until the next day when the ranch owner called the local newspaper, the Corpus Christi Caller-Times, and told the papers what had happened. Whittington was sprayed with birdshot pellets to the face, neck, and chest and suffered a minor heart attack due to the pellet near his heart. When he left the hospital about a week after the accident, he said accidents do and will happen and apologized to Cheney. Yeah, that's right, because you're supposed to apologize to someone who literally shot you in the face and could have killed you. I mean, it says right there he had a heart attack because the pellet was right next to his heart, actually, guys. So, yeah, that's a good... Yeah, I apologize for almost dying. Saying he was deeply sorry for everything Cheney and his family had to deal with after the incident. Cheney was criticized for breaking the cardinal rule of hunting, that someone holding a gun should make sure they know where they are firing at before pulling the trigger, and for not immediately going public with what had happened. The accident also spawned countless jokes. Jay Leno, the then host of The Tonight Show on ABC, made fun of that Cheney would be capitalizing on an accident for upcoming Valentine's Day with a new cologne named Duck. Billionaire Bill Gates greeted his audience at a conference by saying, "I'm really glad to be here. My other invitation was to go quail hunting with Dick Cheney." Go quail hunting? Yeah, because he would have got shot in the face. Cheney said that the accident happened after Whittington had stepped out in front of the hunting party to get a downed bird in deep cover. They have dogs for getting down birds, guys. You just don't run in front. Hey, everyone, I'm going to go run in front of you while you're shooting birds. Don't shoot me. They have dogs to do that actually go and recover. There's a dog called a retriever. It's called a retriever for a reason. It retrieves things. That's what it's trained to do. Cheney said Whittington was dressed properly in an orange and upper part of his body was visible, but that he was standing in a gully with the sun behind him. You can't blame anybody else, Cheney said. I'm the guy who pulled the trigger and shot my friend. So he at least took credit for blasting him in the face and nearly killing him. Whittington owned a downtown Austin building where many of his state's GOP power brokers built their empires. Bush used the building for his gubernatorial campaign headquarters, as did former Texas Governor Rick Perry. Rove also had his office in there. Whittington has a longtime player in Texas politics. In 1961, he worked on John's Tower campaign for the U.S. Senate and later helped a young Bush run for Congress, a race he lost. He was also a go-to guy for governors trying to clean up trouble, state agencies, and spent decades serving on state boards. In the 1980s, Republican Governor Bill Clements appointed him to the former Texas Board of Corrections, which he oversaw a state prison system a federal judge had declared unconstitutional because of brutal conditions. Okay, so this guy right here is the man who said he was sorry for getting blasted in the face by Dick Cheney. Because that, like I said, that's what you're supposed to do. You get shot in the face, you say, "Oh, my bad for walking in front of your gun." Yeah, okay. Okay, Dick Cheney. Let's go back to that video.
It's incredibly politically astute, so I was a little surprised she didn't answer that question better. To me, that is a right out of the park for the Democrats to say, of course, she's a phenomenal vice president, they're our ticket. That waffling with all of the innuendo that's out there, the pieces that have been written saying that she's a lag on the ticket, that gets filled with fire. Because I know we have some caution over the polls, she's consistently lagged in approval behind Joe Biden. It's a fact. She polls lower than Pence did at this time. He's historically unfavorable. He's comparable to Jimmy Carter in the malaise era when he didn't win re-election. So I think Democrats' message, which is a smart one, is the future of the American Republic is on the line if it's against Donald Trump. But it's really hard to convince the public the oldest president in history and one of the most unpopular vice presidents is the strongest way to be.
He also was one of the most effective presidents we've had.
Can I say this very quickly? Over the past 5 elections where you've had
Joe Behar, complete and utter useless airhead.
a Democrat win, they needed the black vote. 91% of African Americans voted for Biden and will continue to vote for Biden if Kamala is his running mate. I would be very careful, President Biden, about getting rid of Kamala Harris because we will not support you.
Wait a minute. Hold up. No, your opinion is valid and beautiful and all.
Really, Sonny? You think the black and brown people are just gonna support a president who has a token black person? Like, how stupid do you think we are that we have to vote for someone that has someone that looks like us? Like, that's one of his checks. He's like, "Oh, I need diversity, black, brown." Kamala Harris, perfect. Even though she's a complete fumbling, bumbling fool herself, always laughing and not even know what she's going. Well, not even know what's going on for the most part. Yeah, they complement each other just well.
But when was the last time you saw anybody get rid of a vice?
Nobody dumps the. That's the thing. It's a lot of Washington speculation.
No, it's not something you would do.
If it was Biden and Trump,
If Biden gets rid of Kamala Harris and inserts someone else, he will lose the black vote.
Even if it's another black woman like Val
We're
Jennings
not interchangeable.
But regardless,
we're not interchangeable.
And no one's saying you are. You would vote in an election against Donald Trump and Joe Biden and a black woman. You wouldn't vote.
I think that
But I want to know the answer.
I don't want to white-splain, but you might be.
There's plenty of other black or brown people that could be a VP or the president. It doesn't have to be Kamala. They act like she's the only qualified person to be a VP to be with Biden. I don't think Biden's gonna be around for 2024. He's just gonna be some sort of like dead weight that they're gonna drag across the line to get on the ticket. And a VP may be up for grabs. I don't know. Maybe Kamala's gonna go run against him. Maybe she wants to be the president, or maybe he's gonna die and she gets installed, which would be her next best option to actually be president. Because I don't see her being president. If anything, she might be the vice president again.
Underestimating the black community voter.
I don't think I am.
You would really sit out and elect. You said I was throwing my vote away if I wrote in another Republican.
I don't
But you're not throwing away your vote by not supporting Biden if he drops.
I'm sorry, y'all. She is not going anywhere. Let's start with that. So this is a lot of hypothetical BS meant to make your mind explode.
wait, can I jump in here?
Take a breath.
That's why we chose the topic.
Well,
Let Sarah talk.
Okay, one thing I've been thinking a lot about is I wish we lived in a time where we could have fair criticisms of a president. I'm a fan of President Biden. I voted for him. Do I think he's the best ever? No. Vice President Harris, I have criticisms. Everyone, when we talk about that, are reduced to being a woman or being black, which I think there are conversations we can actually have about this. But right now, it's a privilege to discuss the alternative, which what I mean by that is if you are up against Donald Trump, Biden and Vice President Harris are my only option. And if we survived President Trump once, we can survive President Biden, Vice President Harris, and we will be fine. And then the election will end and the people will speak again.
So the View obviously is a bunch of bumbling fools. They don't really know much when it comes to politics and who's the best person to vote for. So if you're getting your voting information from them, you're really missing out. You're really doing yourself a disservice, actually, because they don't know what the deuce is going on as well. They just go with the flow. Yeah, I found that kind of funny that they really think that we have to have, like I just said a minute ago, a black or brown person as VP for Biden. If they don't have her, that they're not, no one's gonna vote for him. Like, what's if that's the best candidate to go for as far as the Democrats, then you're obviously gonna vote for him whether Kamala's with him or not. Whether it's Kamala and someone else, and Biden ends up dropping out for some reason or just drops dead from falling on his head. Um, I mean, like I said, I don't think she's gonna be the best for the to get the ticket. I don't think she's really not out of there because there's plenty of other better people who are colored if it has to be diverse as far as political campaigns goes, guys. I mean, I don't know. Strange world we're in, guys. Anyways, thanks for watching my videos. Like, comment, subscribe. See you on the next one.